There comes a time in almost everyone's life when they feel like they're just not good enough, and yet they keep showing up, giving their best effort, chasing their goals. But that nagging feeling doesn't go away, and it continues to whisper in your ears. You don't belong here. It makes you question your abilities, downplay your achievements, and believe your success was just luck. It pushes you to overthink, overwork, and silently fear that one day people will find out who you really are and realize you've been a fraud all along. Today, I want to talk about that experience, one that most of us go through, not just once, but every time we aim higher and set bold, ambitious goals. I'm talking about imposter syndrome. When you join a new workplace and find yourself unusually quiet during meetings, it might be the beginning of imposter syndrome. You start pretending to know things you don't, and you avoid being seen or heard just to stay out of the spotlight, fearing that people might discover you're not as capable as they think. And I have struggled with it personally: the self doubt, the anxiety, the pressure to constantly prove myself, the sleepless nights of overworking and overthinking. And I've learned along the way that if we don't recognize it and work through it, it can lead to burnout, chronic stress, mental health challenges, people pleasing tendencies, and a life where you constantly underachieve, not because you're not capable, but because you don't feel worthy. So, in today's episode, we're diving deep to understand what exactly is imposter syndrome. How does it affect your brain and behavior? When does it tend to strike? How do we overcome it in a real, practical way? And most importantly, when is it time to seek help? And with that, let's get right into it. So, what exactly is imposter syndrome? It's that deep feeling that your success, your achievements were accidental. Like everything you have accomplished in life happened purely by luck, not because you were actually worthy of it. And the worst thing is, it comes with this constant fear that sooner or later people will find out. Your friends, your coworkers, your family, they'll realize that you're a fraud, that you've been faking it all along. A simple way to describe it is this: it's the feeling that you're faking the identity you have created for yourself. For me, it hit the hardest when I started my first job as a financial analyst. And it didn't stop there. Every time I changed jobs to gain more experience or pushed myself into new roles, it came back. I felt it in sports. I felt it when I started becoming more social. And most recently, I felt it when I launched this podcast channel. That voice in my head would say, "You're not a podcaster. So why are you pretending to be one? Why are you faking it?" Soon, everyone will realize you don't have what it takes to be a good podcaster, to be a great analyst, a confident speaker, a good athlete, or even just a likable social person. It's like you're putting on different masks throughout your life, trying to fit into every room you walk into. But here's a question: does feeling this way actually mean you're faking it, or is there something deeper going on? And to understand that, let me take you back to my first job. I still remember walking into that interview room. It wasn't my first interview. I had practiced my answers dozens of times. I knew how to respond. I knew what to say. And when the curveball questions came up, I improvised. I did what I had to do to land the opportunity. And it worked. I got the job. But once I started working, something strange happened. I felt this enormous pressure to live up to every promise I made during the interview. The things I said to impress the panel started replaying in my mind like a movie. Like, "I'll be your best candidate. I can handle deadlines. I'm a fast learner." But deep down, I had no idea what I was selling. I had zero real world experience. I didn't know how to deal with reports, clients, deadlines, or presentations. I was just in survival mode. And looking back now, I realize during that interview, I wasn't just trying to get a job. I was trying to fulfill a social expectation, to be seen as a professional, to be accepted by society as someone successful, capable, and appears to be organized. But once I got in to my first job, I felt lost. So what did I do? I started imitating the people around me. I copied how they dressed, how they talked, how they structured their day. I wanted to become more and more like them, so I asked them questions which brought me closer to be like them. And I closely observed how they worked every day and pieced together my professional identity like a patchwork quilt. And at first it worked, but over time it became overwhelming. My brain was constantly learning, adapting, mimicking, and at one point it couldn't keep up. So I started to regress. That's when the imposter syndrome kicked in. I started believing I wasn't good enough, that I was just made up of borrowed parts. And soon someone would notice it and I would lose it all. This feeling of imposter syndrome shows up anytime we step into a role that pushes us out of our comfort zone. A new job, new goal, a new identity. It happens when we are forced to learn new things, meet higher standards, or let go of habits and mindsets that no longer serve us. It also sneaks in when we achieve something great, and instead of celebrating it, we start fearing whether we can maintain it. We think, maybe that was just luck. What if I can't do it again? So let's talk about what happens in the brain when we go through this. When you start to believe that you're faking it, that you don't really deserve your success, that thought triggers the amygdala, which is the part of the brain that processes fear. That sets off the classic fight or flight response, even if nothing dangerous is happening. So even something as harmless as networking event or a presentation can suddenly feel like a life or death situation. Next, your brain goes into overdrive, trying to fix everything. You start overanalyzing your performance, planning for the worst case scenarios, replaying every word you said, and this puts pressure on your prefrontal cortex, the front part of the brain responsible for decision making and rational thinking. And here's something more interesting. When you think your success came from luck, your brain doesn't let you fully enjoy the win. It doesn't release the same amount of dopamine, the feel good chemical that rewards you for your effort. So you miss out on that natural motivation boost that should have told you, hey, you did great. You earned this. Instead, imposter syndrome keeps whispering, you better work harder or they'll find out the truth. And that leads to chronic stress. Your body keeps pumping out cortisol, the stress hormone. Over time, that starts affecting your memory, focus, sleep, and even your emotional regulation. And ironically, you start regressing with the reinforced belief that you're not good enough. When you constantly feel this way, it starts to impact both your career and your personal growth. You avoid the spotlight, you shy away from new responsibilities, and back off from opportunities that could change your life. You stop taking risks, even the ones that could bring tremendous rewards, because deep down, you're afraid of being exposed. You hold yourself back from promotions, career changes, pitching bold ideas, or even learning any new high risk, high reward skills. You do this all in an effort to protect the image you think you need to maintain. So, what are some ways we can overcome or manage this feeling of imposter syndrome? And as we move forward, please keep in mind that this is my personal experience. So feel free to comment with your thoughts and suggestions. You can reach me at my social media, or you can just comment in this podcast. All right, let's continue. Number one, improve self-confidence. Make it a habit to voluntarily take on bigger challenges. Whether it's helping more at home, learning a new skill like a language, swimming, debating, or public speaking, you raise the standards you set for yourself with this. Because what's happening is you follow a process, stay consistent, and eventually achieve your goals. This makes you more organized and intentional. And you start seeing that real effort leads to real results. You realize your achievements aren't accidental, they're earned. Overcoming meaningful challenges boosts your self-confidence, and that's crucial when stepping outside your comfort zone. Without it, you hesitate to pitch ideas, ask smart questions, or take on high visibility opportunities. So if you're just starting your career or entering a new phase of life, remember, self-confidence isn't automatic. It's built through action and responsibilities. Number two, make learning a daily habit. When you commit to learning something new every day, you move away from faking knowledge and toward genuine curiosity. You start telling yourself, it's okay not to know. I can figure it out. And this mindset shift helps you reframe your thinking. So instead of saying, I don't belong here, you begin to say, this is a great opportunity to grow. That's called cognitive restructuring, replacing harmful self talk with useful facts. Think about it. Through most of our early life, we're expected to be students. But the moment we enter the workforce, we feel the pressure to be experts. And what do? We start mirroring others, trying to sound intelligent or professional, forgetting that those people got there after years of learning and failing. So let's stop pretending and start learning again. Number 3, visualize or track your achievements. One big reason we doubt ourselves is because we rarely take time to acknowledge our past wins. Our brain is wired to protect us by scanning for threats. So it focuses on what could go wrong rather than what we have already done right. This makes us forget that we have overcome challenges before. Simply by revisiting those victories, whether mentally or journaling, you train your brain to expect success and to reinforce belief in your abilities. If you can, hang up your degrees, certifications, or awards where you can see them regularly. They're not just decorations, they're reminders that you're capable, consistent, and worthy. Let's move to number 4. Own your compliments. How often do you dismiss compliments? We say things like, oh, it was nothing, or I just got lucky. But here's the thing. Every time you do that, you're telling your brain you didn't earn it, which strengthens the imposter feeling. So instead, accept the compliments without disclaimers. Remind yourself of the effort, practice, and time you have put into becoming the person you are. Whether it's a skill, a job well done, or a kind gesture, you deserve that recognition. This habit slowly builds self-belief, which is the antidote to feeling like a fraud. And number 5, strive to improve just 1% every day, not to be someone else. Social media and corporate culture push us into endless comparisons. We look at others' polished versions and feel like we're falling behind. But here's the truth. What you're seeing is often their best moment, not their full journey. But here's the thing. Your brain interprets it as they're better and you're not good enough. This activates the fear center of your brain, your amygdala, and triggers anxiety, stress, and the feeling that you don't belong. Over time, it starts chipping away at your self-worth. You stop owning your achievements, hesitate to take risks, and overwork yourself trying to make up the gap that may not even be real. Instead, focus on improving just 1% each day. This shifts your attention inward on your own journey. Small wins stack up over time and build real lasting confidence. You stop needing validation from others and start recognizing your own progress and your own value. Lastly, I want to talk about when you should seek external help for imposter syndrome. And the simple answer is when the feeling of being a fraud is no longer just occasional self-doubt, but something you struggle with daily and it's constantly holding you back. You might be avoiding opportunities because you never feel ready or overworking just to prove your worth, leaving yourself mentally and emotionally exhausted. If you're feeling anxious all the time, drained from trying to keep up appearances, and secretly convinced that you're faking it and might get found out, it's time to talk to someone. That could be a coach, a mentor, therapist, or even a trusted friend who can offer a different perspective. Seeking help isn't weakness, it's a sign of strength and self-awareness. The environment we live in shapes us in many ways. Some empower us, and others quietly make us feel small or inadequate. But here's the good news. You can always unlearn those limiting beliefs and change the trajectory of your life. And with that, we come to the end of this episode. I started podcasting so that I could reach out to people who might benefit from some form of life guidance. But I can only succeed in this effort with your support. So if you're new here or a regular listener, please like and subscribe to the channel. It helps me to reach more people who could find real value in this message. Thank you for being here, and I hope you have a wonderful and a meaningful day ahead.